Hi everyone, and welcome to this World MS Day seminar. The new World MS Day campaign, My MS Diagnosis, kicks off this week. In this session, we'll be showing you all the campaign resources available to help you get ready for the big day on the 30th of May. My name is Sarah, and I'm the Communications and Campaigns Manager at the MS International Federation. My colleague Abdul and I will both be presenting in this seminar. This is a recorded session available to the World MS Day Network on YouTube. We will be speaking in English, but subtitles in Arabic and Spanish will be added to this video later on. So, what will we cover in this session? We will begin the seminar with an overview of the new campaign theme, My MS Diagnosis. We will then touch on the new World MS Day animation before moving on to the World MS Day website, where we will explore the toolkit together. Following that, you will see the new poster maker in action. I will then hand over to Abdul, who will be speaking to you about how you can take part in this year's campaign, the World MS Day map, and finally, the World MS Day news pages. First, let's begin with an introduction to the new campaign, My MS Diagnosis. The theme for World MS Day 2024 to 2025 is diagnosis. The name of the campaign is, you guessed it, My MS Diagnosis, and the tagline is Navigating MS Together. So what is the campaign all about? The My MS Diagnosis campaign advocates for early and accurate diagnosis for everyone living with MS. It highlights the global barriers to diagnosing MS, raising awareness and sharing real stories and data. Together, we are calling for better MS training for healthcare professionals, new research, and clinical advancements in MS diagnosis. We are building informed, caring communities and systems that support people diagnosed with MS. My MS Diagnosis is a flexible and wide-ranging campaign. This means you can choose to focus on a variety of angles when taking part in World MS Day. There are 6 campaign angles within the theme. Some of these may align with your own organizational goals or areas of interest. When developing the new MS Diagnosis brand, we created illustrations to represent each angle. You can see an example of this here now. With this angle, lobbying decision makers to improve early and accurate diagnosis for everyone living with MS. Another angle we have for the campaign is highlighting global and national barriers to accessing MS diagnosis, which you can see here. This one here is about building informed, caring communities and systems that support people diagnosed with MS. Here we have raising awareness and building solidarity by sharing experiences of an MS diagnosis. This one, advocating for better MS training and awareness amongst healthcare professionals. And finally, supporting new research and clinical advancements in MS diagnosis. The My MS Diagnosis theme and campaign angles were all developed by the MS International Federation and its members. Special thanks to the World MS Day Working Group, a group of global representatives from different national MS organizations. Over the past year, the working group and MSIF staff have been coming together to develop the campaign theme, brand, toolkit, and animation. That's right, we've created a brand new animation for this campaign. To create this animation, we asked people living with MS around the world to share their MS diagnosis stories. The animation shows what it's like to navigate an MS diagnosis. It highlights challenges that people face when trying to get diagnosed and why the right diagnosis matters so much. The animation features real stories from South Africa, Indonesia, the UAE, the US, and Argentina. The video will launch on the 30th of April, and it will be available in English, Spanish, and Arabic. We really cannot wait to share it with you. Now, let's move on to the World MS Day website and see what's inside the My MS Diagnosis Toolkit. So here we are on the World MS Day website. Let's navigate to the toolkit page. We've created these tools to support your campaign activity and help you make the most of Wilderness Day. These tools are free to download and available to anyone who wishes to raise awareness and campaign for change this Wilderness Day. They are available in English, Spanish, and Arabic. To see the toolkit in another language, click on the left-hand corner. You can see the tools in Spanish here now. If you want to see them in Arabic, you can also click here. For the purposes of this demo today, I'll be presenting the toolkit in English. Let's take a closer look at what's inside. First up, the brand guidelines. So here you can find more information about the My MS Diagnosis brand and get an overview of the toolkit. We worked with the World MS Day Working Group and fantastic designers to create this new brand. We wanted something that was vibrant, textured, and had a human feel that really spoke to people's experiences of diagnosis. This brand handbook tells you all about the brand. It's got information about the tools, as you can see, information on the color palettes, all the font details, and advice on how to best apply the World MS Day logos. This handbook is especially useful if you have any colleagues or volunteers with a design background. It's also useful for anyone who likes to have a go on Canva. So really get creative and create your own assets for your activities. Next up in the toolkit, we have the campaign logos. These feature the My MS Diagnosis logo, here we go, and tagline, Navigating Together. You can use these when creating your own World MS Day materials. You can also use, of course, the World MS Day logos. So you can download the current ones or the original. Now let's take a look at the campaign posters. We've created a set of campaign posters, each representing one of the campaign angles. These are all available as PDF files. Here we have the countdown graphics. These are all video files and reels. So you can use these to count down the days to World MS Day. We have a 1 month, 1 week, and it's World MS Day graphic. And they're really a great way to build momentum on social media. Over here, we have more social media shareables. These can support your online campaigns. We have shareables representing the campaign angles here, and also a few representing different campaign actions. So for example, this MS Heart shareable is an invitation for supporters to share an MS Heart as a sign of solidarity, the symbol of the campaign. We also have this shareable inviting people to use the World MS Day map, and over here a shareable to explore the toolkit. And there's more. We have headers created for Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and web use. There are 2 different illustrative styles for each platform, so those are super useful. Let's not forget the email signatures. You can use these My MS Diagnosis email signatures as a stylish sign-off. It's a great way to tell your mailing list about the campaign and raise awareness. Finally, we have the healthcare industry guidelines. This handbook offers best practice for healthcare companies who are using the campaign brand for World MS Day. It can also be used by MS organizations who are working with healthcare companies on World MS Day activities if you're not sure how they can use the branding. There's a few more items to come in this toolkit. One of these is the campaign essentials, which will be added here soon. So watch this space. Okay, the last stop in today's toolkit tour is the brand new poster maker. You can access that here. This tool allows you to create your own campaign artwork. It's a great way to raise awareness about the campaign. The poster maker is available in English, Spanish, and Arabic. You can change the language in the top corner of the interface here. To create your own, simply click this button. As you can see, we've got a brand new design for the My MS Diagnosis campaign. You can choose between different frames, different characters. All you need to do is upload a photo, write your name, and select your country. It's brilliant to see that the poster maker is already in use by people all over the world. It really is a campaign favorite and a great way to tell your network about the My MS Diagnosis campaign. Without further ado, I'm going to pass you on to my colleague Abdul, who will take you through more of the World MS Day website.
Hi everyone, I'm Abdul Ibrahim. I'm the Head of Communications, Campaigns and Advocacy at MSIF. Thank you for taking the time to watch our recording today. And just what I'm going to speak about now is the actions that you and your organization can take to mark World MS Day. And also speak about the map and other things that you can make most use of it, in addition to what Sarah has mentioned earlier. I'll be sharing my screen with you, so I can just run through what we have. As you all know, World MS Day is very much about what you do in your own country. It's about the activities and events and advocacy efforts and press releases and press conference and many other activities that you take in your own country to raise awareness of MS and to advocate for better life for people with MS and for improving the quality of life for people with MS. So this section in particular is very important and is very much we've built it around the what we have seen over the past many years of MS organizations like yours carrying out some amazing activities to just make sure we're visible and we are bringing about change for people with MS wherever they live. So there are many ways actually your organization and support group or whoever you are you can take part in our My MS Diagnosis campaign, and I'll just run through some of the most common actions and activities that has been that you perhaps could take or you might have already planned for that. To start with activities, and when we say activities here, we mean organizing any activities during World MS Day. That could be flash mobs, that could be conference, educational events for to bring people with MS and health care professionals together, any other creative events and activities that you might thought of, and that could also include fundraising events and activities. Just don't be shy, don't be afraid, just go for it and do what you think will resonate best in your own country, and with the people you're trying to reach out to. Make some noise and make most of the World MS Day to make sure that we really want to improve the access to MS diagnosis and try to bring that through your activities. And obviously there will be I'll be talking about this later, the map. There'll be you can use that to post any activities or events you are planning to organize, and you can also have a look through the map to get inspired about what's going on around the world. Second category, if you like, of actions is advocating for change. World MS Day is an amazing tool to advocate for change. For many years, MS organizations have used it to do so, and this year in particular, with the theme, a very tangible theme like MS diagnosis, there are so much that can be done to advocate for change. So I really encourage you to, if it's not this year and you already planned for other activities, perhaps for next year, to just see what you can do in order to improve the access to diagnosis, and also remove barriers, or for people with MS to access accurate diagnosis, and wherever they live. Just think about the change you want to see. There are so many barriers to access to diagnosis, whether that is actually not being able to access diagnosis at all, to the costs of diagnosis, to the time it takes, to the inaccurate diagnosis, and many other that I'm sure you are fully aware of. So just identify what sort of change you want to make, and then who should we reach out to influence change within the government, community, decision makers. And when we talk about advocacy, obviously the data and evidence comes into our mind. And I know some organizations and some countries already have their own evidence base that they can use. Other countries might not have this available. So as a really good starting point, Atlas of MS can be a really good resource to generate your own data. You can use Atlas to highlight the barriers that prevent access to early and accurate diagnosis in your own country. When you go to the website, to this section, you can always click on Atlas of MS, as you can see here, and it will take you to the website where you can generate the data that you need to build your case of support and go about advocacy with a strong evidence. There's also a section on our website, MSIF website, for information about how can you improve access to MS diagnosis, and I do encourage you to have a look at. World MSA is very much about creating the buzz. It's about the community. It's about sharing stories, graphics, and animations, and many other resources online, and to get everyone to talk about the campaign and talk about World MS Day and talk about MS. Please continue to do so. You've done amazing work over the past many years, and we encourage you to do so. And this year, use the new hashtag of my MS diagnosis, and you can use it along with the World MS Day hashtag when you post online. If you are a person who's living with MS, sharing your diagnosis story can help hugely to raise awareness and to just make sure getting the message across to everyone that we need to raise their awareness with. Stories are so important, very powerful. They go hand in hand with the evidence when it comes to advocacy. They're a very powerful tool to raise awareness and get people interested, those who doesn't know about MS, and those who knows about MS. They get to know more by learning about the experience of people with MS and what their diagnosis experience like. So, and you can obviously share your story on the map as well. Then we bringing back the MS Heart Challenge. MS Heart is a symbol of solidarity, and we use it to show solidarity with everyone affected by MS by showing that this sign, which is meant togetherness and inspired by the sign language. So you can go out somewhere where there is a national landmark or somewhere special to you. Take a photo showing your solidarity by making the MS Heart Challenge. You can go along with your friends, family, colleagues, and you can do that. And then once you have the photo, you can submit it online on the World MS Day map. There'll be some certificates for those who the best submissions that will be made. So please do so. And as I said, it can be in any landmark, national landmark that you're very proud of, or it could be, somewhere local where really means a really something really special for you, a really local spot. For example, it could be the local park where you go down to, where you go and sit there to wind down sometimes when. Or reflect on things, and it could be in your own backyard. It could be in your office, anywhere that you think is special and have a meaningful play. It's a meaningful place for you. Wilderness Day doesn't go without making the headlines, and we want to continue to do that, or ramp up perhaps and do even more, because that will help us to reach to far more people. um, um, Press and media will help us to share the real stories of people with MS and highlight the key issues around MS diagnosis for this campaign in particular, which I think is a very interesting angle for the press and media to discuss and look into, and put a spotlight on the challenges people with MS go through when they're trying to get their diagnosis. You can write an article, you could organize a press conference, or you can do it in any way that you find more convenient to you. And don't forget, when you do so, and you find when you find a news article, or you've been successful with your reach out to the media, please do post it on the World MS Day map so others across the world get inspired, and we got to know also about what has happened. What is the sort of coverage that has been taking place around the world? Light Up the World, we know many organizations, we've seen it in Canada and Ireland, in Latin America, and I'm sure in many other parts of the world, where they actually light up the iconic buildings or iconic landmarks and buildings to show solidarity with World MS Day, to give a statement of hope in the city, and to show that we are united across the country during World MS Day. We look forward to see more of that, and to hear more about what you've done to lit up the whole world and the key landmarks around the world. This is very much for this section, but once again, World MS Day is about you. It's not World MS Day is about the activity you're doing. So I do encourage you to go and look at this, have a look at this part of the website, and perhaps you can, if you're still planning some activities, that you can get inspired from here, by your also perhaps for on the longer term for next year. So I mentioned the map multiple times, so I just want to give you an idea, or perhaps to do a quick demonstration of how can you use the map. Many of you have used it in the past, but just consider this as a refresher, and also for those who haven't used it in the past. We use this map to encourage everyone across the world, MS organization, support group, or individuals, to post any activities they might have organized. As I said, activities that could be events, could be any sort of activities that you have organized to mark World MS Day. Or if you have taken a photo for MS Heart Photos, MS Heart Challenge, you can post it here as well. And if you are a person living with MS, you can share your story here, your diagnosis story, so they really got to know your experience and you were sort of getting diagnosed. There is also a fourth section about media coverage. So if you come across and news coverage, or if you've done some work around media and press, please, you can post that here. This is a map, as you can see, you can zoom in and out. The activities should show with a simple like that. Each of them has correspond with the category. So the calendar with a star is activities, the heart is the MS Heart, the microphone is or the speaker is basically the media coverage, and there'll be this that is the MS diagnosis stories. These are just example we populated, but I'm sure in a couple of weeks' time there'll be so many of these, and that map will be very busy. When you reach here, you can either click directly on the what shows on the map, zoom in and out, and see. You can even see what sort of activities carried out or organized across one country. Or you can just simply, if you're interested more in categories, you can press here and it will show you where they are. So that is an event. And under this, it tells you the city, the country, and and a bit of a brief on the event. When we go to MS Hard, same, but this one brings shows you the picture that was uploaded by the person, their name, city, the country, and a bit of a description of the about MS Hard challenge, why they have chosen this particular spot to take the photo. And then the diagnosis story. This is where people with MS can share their stories, and it shows their pictures if they want to share it, and then their story will show up here, the city and country where they're coming from. And that is very inspiring. You can go and look and see and read and learn, and also share this online to educate others. And it's not only about you coming and seeing what's happening, getting inspired, which is very important, but it's also about sharing your own activities and events so others get to see what's going on and get inspired by yours. So you'll be able to also log in or submit your activity by clicking on this add to the map. Once you pressed on that, sorry, it takes a bit of time. Then you can write your organization, your name, or if you're representing an organization, write this, email, country, city, and once you choose the activity, there'll be other additional sections to fill in depending what activities are you doing. So if it's a photo, then they ask you to upload a MS Hard, they ask you to upload a photo, and so on. And then you just follow the instruction. It should be very straightforward and simple process. But if any time you try to do so and it didn't work out, just feel free to reach out to us. I'm sure we'll be able to help. And then we have the last section here is the news. And this is where anytime you want to see updates about the World MS Day campaign or my MS diagnosis campaign, want to know what's going on around the world, again, you can visit this section. This is where we'll be keep posting things, already existing news from the previous years. I'm sure they can still be useful to read. And I also want to take this opportunity to encourage you to sign up for the World MSA newsletter. You can do this here. If you want to do this in Spanish or Arabic, you simply press the language at the top, and that will give you the option to sign up in your preferred language. The website, the tools, the map, everything I've talked about earlier is available in English, Spanish, and Arabic. So please do feel free to use it and to use in the language that you're more convenient with. And I just want to thank you so much for what you're doing to raise awareness and to advocate for people with MS across the world. And I just want to once again encourage you to look at what we've shared with you today. Make use of the tools, all the tools that Sarah talked through about and what I've mentioned earlier. And also, we know that some of you have already done or perhaps planning some amazing activities around MS diagnosis. And we're really looking for case studies that we can use in the newsletters, social media. So if you have a project that you've already done in the past on MS diagnosis, there's some learning lessons there, the things that you want to share with the world, please reach out to us and share that with us. But also, if you have exciting activities planned for World MS Day with a focus on MS diagnosis, that could be an advocacy campaign to improve diagnosis, or it could be a training program that you are setting up for healthcare professional to improve diagnosis, or it could be information and resources that you're providing to help with those diagnosis. It could be anything really, but as long as it is focused on MS diagnosis, please do share that with us so we can see and gather more case studies and see which ones we can use, and we can share through the newsletter and social media. Now I'll leave you to the very busy and hard work you're taking in the prep for World MS Day. Really look forward to see and to hear about all the activities you are planning when you submit this on the map, and seeing that online and making a very big buzz this year, and hopefully seeing some great impact on people with MS through your amazing advocacy work to improve access to MS diagnosis, and raising awareness about MS diagnosis. Thank you so much. We appreciate your help, and have a fantastic day. Thank you. Bye.